Welcome to John Edson Sports Channel, where we're going to review League One Week 33. I thought we'd do a review one this week. We said we're going to start with Reading versus Birmingham, and I said Reading 0, Birmingham 3. Seeing as we got all that flack for saying they were going to draw the other week when they clearly weren't going to. So I said Birmingham were going to win this one 3-0. I think a lot of people were thinking that Reading were going to score. Actually, neither team scored. It was actually quite an even game. From what I was looking at when we were looking at the actual game, it didn't seem too one-sided. Shots on target, 4 for Reading, 3 for Birmingham. However, once again, 12 shots for Birmingham, 3 on target. About right, 4-1. But, they've got that class that should be hitting a little bit more than that. Passes, 408 to Birmingham, 391 to Reading. It wasn't one-sided. Reading put up a really good fight there. And that was indeed just not one for us, I'm afraid, that day. Rotherham versus Barnsley, and Rotherham played absolutely torrid, didn't they? They absolutely got trounced. I thought that Rotherham might just fight back for the manager and prove that at home we can actually play football. Apparently they've forgotten how to play football, and we said Rotherham 2, Barnsley 1. Well, it was Rotherham 0, Barnsley 1, a 52-minute penalty from Phillips. And to be quite honest, the stats don't tell the game. 44% play to Rotherham, 56 to Barnsley. That's the only thing that does show the game. 10 shots for Rotherham, 2 on target, 10 shots for Barnsley, 3 on target, 1 in the net. Actually, it was a lot more one-sided than that for me, and Barnsley deserved the win. So we don't get anything there. Blackpool versus Crawley next, and 32 minutes, Ashley Taylor got sent off, and it didn't make a difference. And that's really strange, isn't it? Now, I reckon that Crawley they'd start to even out their ups and downs, and just they seem to have still done that here, but Blackpool were just far too clinical for them. The game was equal, however, in technicality terms. However, Crawley had more of the ball. Crawley actually had 69% of the ball, and the home side Blackpool had 31. So you'd expect Crawley to be coming out with a lot of shots here. 14 shots for the away side Crawley, 5 on target, pretty good, but only 1 on in the net. Be a bit disappointed with that. However, Blackpool will be absolutely amazed. 32 minutes, they got Ashley Fletcher sent off. And you've still got another goal coming, so you really did do really well. And Crawley scored on 30 minutes, 2 minutes before the red card. So 31% possession to Blackpool, 9 shots, 5 on target, 3 in the net. That was class, and that was the difference here. But no bones about it. It was the technicality and the end, the finish that Blackpool had was by far better than Crawley. So it was actually a Blackpool win. So our draw 1-1 didn't come to fruition. How about Bolton versus Leyton Orient? We said Bolton 1, Leyton Orient 2. Guess what? It was Bolton 2, Leyton Orient 1. And we did think that Bolton could start to get back some of that skill. That they've got skill in the team. It's just that they don't seem to be proving it on the day, do they? And I just look and I think they could do this, but Leyton Orient's train is just on one, isn't it? And for the first time in ages, Orient lose. 51% play to Bolton, 49 to Leyton Orient. Not that much different. And I think that on the whole, that's sort of how the game went. I think it was a little bit more one-sided than that. 11 shots to Bolton, 5 on target. Really good, wasn't it? And they can be clinical. They can, absolutely. They have been in the past. Leyton Orient, 49% play, 13 shots, more shots, but only 2 on target. At that top end, you've got to be more than at least 4-to-1 ratio, and they just didn't have it. They'll be really upset that they were kept a little bit further away from the goal than what they would have liked, and that they didn't get those shots on target. So Bolton came out 2-1 winners. Never mind. We'll go to Cambridge Stockport. Surely we can get one from this one, which is surprising. We said Cambridge 1, Stockport 2, and guess what? It was Cambridge 2, Stockport 0. So we're not doing very well. Stockport had a 90+2 minute red card for Callum Connolly. However, Cambridge were, for most of the part, not actually in the game as much as this, and it's really weird. They just seem to I say this about QPR in the Championship, and I've said it about Cambridge before as well. They can defend with 10 men, and they can absolutely beat any team in that division by just lobbing 10 men at the back and just, you ain't going to get a close shot off. Or if you do, it's got to be through a crowd of players. Cambridge, 40% play, 5 shots, 2 on target, 2 in the net. Ouch! You have to be a little bit puzzled at how they managed to get 2 shots on target and 2 in the net. Stockport are usually a lot better than that. 60% play for them, 18 shots, 5 on target, none in the net. They will be gutted that they let 100% of those on target in the net and that they didn't score any of the 5. Really not good enough from a Stockport County perspective. I think the fans will be going home thinking that just wasn't good. The run of the green just wasn't there. Charlton versus Exeter next, and it had to be a Charlton win, didn't it? We said Charlton 2, Exeter 0. Charlton 2, Exeter 1. We did actually get the right number of goals as well, which was quite good. It was 3 goals, but it was Charlton 3, Exeter 0. And the home side ruled the roost. 57% play and 43 to Exeter, and 11 shots to Charlton. Yeah, probably about right. 5 on target though, which is really good, and of course 3 in the net of those 5. There's some really class finishing in this division, isn't there? A lot of really good finishers. And yes, I did say division. It is a league now. It used to be called a division in my day, when I was a lad. 43% to Exeter. Sorry about that. 6 shots. Do like and subscribe. You get more of this shit. 6 shots to Exeter. 1 on target. No goals. They really, they were out of it, I think, and they were just pot shotting when as soon as they got that own goal. I think it just went from bad to worse. They kept in the game with possession, but they just didn't seem to get any concrete shots on target. So Charlton, they were deserved winners, absolutely. And we move on to Huddersfield versus Peterborough. And this is another one of those we sort of looked at this game, and I saw a lot of people thinking, well, it could go either way, couldn't it? And I'm thinking it could, it really could. How are we going to think about this game? Because Huddersfield haven't been playing that well. Peterborough needed and probably deserved to start playing better and getting the results. They've been playing a little bit better, but not getting the results. And there were people thinking, most of you thought that Peterborough would score. And most of you thought that the Huddersfield's bad period would surely start to come to an end now. They've started to get a couple of points here and there. Surely they'd turn it round. So what did we say? We said Huddersfield 3, Peterborough 1. It was Huddersfield 0, Peterborough 1. And actually, I was actually watching this, and for ages I'm thinking, this is actually going to finish 1-1. This is going to finish 1-1. Up to the Peterborough goal on 45 minutes plus 4. I was thinking it was going to be 0-0, but it was end-to-end stuff, but nobody was getting a shot on goal. I think it was one shot or something in the first half. 53% possession to Huddersfield, 13 shots, 1 on target. Absolutely just not good enough. Just not good enough at all. Peterborough were improving, so Huddersfield getting worse. They were getting worse. They're stagnant now at the bottom, and I think they will get better now. Peterborough, though, they have been getting better slowly. They're on the upcline, if you like. 47% play, 11 shots, 4 on target, pretty good. We'd accept that 3-1, just better than 3-1, isn't it? 4 shots on target, 1 goal, 4-1. Really, really good ratio that. So they deserved the win because they got, they were getting more chances on target and better chances as well. So they really did deserve that. They didn't pass as much. This is one of the things. Huddersfield were just passing it around in midfield and in midfield and defence. I'll give them the due. It was their whole half of the pitch. I kept seeing them go to the halfway line, come back. 420 passes to Huddersfield, 377 to Peterborough, and that's where I was seeing. Whenever Huddersfield had it, they just knock it around midfield and in their own half. So Peterborough, I think they deserve the win. If you're going to be passing it around and playing from the back, you need to be able to do it well, and they didn't really do it as well as I thought they could do. Lincoln City versus Burton next, and these two sides are really... I couldn't really split them, and neither could any of you. Everyone was saying 1-1. I went with everybody else and said 1-1. It was Lincoln City 0, Burton 1, 90 plus 2 minutes. 2 minutes into extra time, and we go from we're getting a draw just like we said to win. Burton's won. So Webster got it for Burton in the last dying minutes, and it was 55% play to Lincoln. And Jews, they did play a sort of I don't want to lose it type of football. Burton did the same, 45%. Now, it was 7 shots to Lincoln, 2 on target, no goals. Very, very dull game this. 8 shots for Burton, 1 on target, 1 goal. If you're at a match and you've got 3 top shots on target in the entire 95 minutes, you're going to be pretty hacked off. That's what I was looking at on when I was watching this game. It was absolute awful. I've never seen I've never seen a championship game, a League One game like that since watching Rotherham away at Cambridge this season. Come to think of it, it's like most Rotherham games. Northampton Town versus Bristol Rovers, and I thought, Northampton Town could just win this. Now, I didn't think this was going to be very, very many goals. Some people thought it would be a draw, and some people thought it would be like just sneak a 1-0 win to Northampton. So I went with most of you, a 1-0 win to Northampton, and it was a 2-1 win to Northampton. So it went exactly the way that we thought it would do, and it was a reasonable game. I'd say pretty even in both ways. I say reasonable because I think for this game, everything matched each other almost. Bristol Rovers were better at passing it, and they seemed to keep the ball a little bit more when they were passing it, which is why they had 53% possession. However, 8 shots on target, 8 shots at target for both teams, 3 on target for Northampton, 4 on target for Bristol Rovers, and it was just a case of who was going to be more clinical. 3 shots, 2 in the net for Northampton, 4 shots, 1 in the net for Bristol Rovers. That is the only thing that separated these two. And either of these teams could have won it on the day had they been slightly more clinical. 3 shots on target, 2 in the net for Northampton, 4 shots on target, 1 in the net for Bristol Rovers. I can't remember what I said. But yeah, you would think that 4-1 for Bristol Rovers on any other day that would have won them the game, but it didn't because 3 shots, 2 in the net for Northampton, pretty good, wasn't it? So it was just about who was going to be critical on the day. Shrewsbury Town versus Stevenage. Now we actually got this wrong because Shrewsbury have been playing some pretty good football on and off. And a lot of people be saying that they sort of like they'll play really poorly, they'll suddenly throw in a really humdinger of a game like the Birmingham game, and you think, well, Stevenage, they're sort of just dropping off a little bit, and it was Shrewsbury 0, Stevenage 1. We thought it was going to be Shrewsbury 2, Stevenage 1. So where did those 2 goals go? That's what I was looking at as this was going, and. Actually, Shrewsbury did a really good job in defence. Absolute brilliant job. They reduced Stevenage to 49% possession, 6 shots and none on target. Absolutely no chance of Stevenage winning, didn't they? Well, unfortunately, they did because it was an own goal. 8 minutes. Aaron Pierre goes and gives it to Stevenage. Yeah, how unlucky. Yeah, Shrewsbury did so well. They kept Stevenage at bay, making sure they didn't have any shots on target, and they lose 1-0. But again, this is another one of those boring games where everybody was playing defence. Only 2 shots in the entire game, and they both went to on target, and they both went to Shrewsbury Town. And you tell me what you think, Shrewsbury Town fans, because that should have been a Shrewsbury Town win, absolutely. But only on the fact that you seem to be getting into the box slightly more often than what Stevenage did. Not particularly the result we expected. However, Wycombe versus Wigan. This is an interesting one because we expected a lot of you expected a 1-1 draw. It was 0-0 because Wigan have done all those really good. They've had a really good January, absolutely brilliant. I was really impressed by them, but they've not been gelling quite. And I'm thinking that if they could just get this team sorted. I know it's late on, but they can get it sorted, and I think they could really do well against a Wycombe side that is flying. Let's face it, you would expect under normal circumstances where they are in the table, Wycombe Wanderers to be coming out with a 3-0 win. What did we say? Somebody said 2-0. A couple of them said 1-1. I went with sort of a mix of both and said Wycombe 2, Wigan 1. Unfortunately for us, it was nowhere. It was 0-0. So why was it 0-0? And you realise that Wycombe had 59% of the possession, and Wigan only had 41. Now, Wycombe did a lot more with their extra possession as well because they got 12 shots at target, 3 of them on target, which usually would give them at least 1 goal from where they are in the league. You'd expect 3-1 to be a pretty good achievable ratio, but absolutely not. And Wigan, 4 shots in the entire game, 1 of them on target. It could have gone in, but it wasn't likely, was it? So the best outcome for Wigan as they went through this game was literally just to shut up shop at the back, which is what they did, and just say, we just don't want them to score. And that seems to be the thing against Wycombe. People seem to be saying, look, if they can score, we'll just sit back, 10 men at the back, and do what we would do against Birmingham. Just make sure they don't bloody get past those 10 men. And it shows by the fact that Wycombe had 457 passes in that game. and Wigan 319. They were just always. It seemed to be constantly in the hands of or in the feet of a Wycombe Wanderers player. Shock result, yes, but some of us just thought on the side that this could be a draw, because Wigan have actually shown a really good January. Mansfield Wrexham then on the following day, and you have to start thinking, well, yeah, what was going to happen here, because we expected Mansfield to be losers. I said Mansfield 1, Wrexham 2. Guess what? It was Mansfield 1, Wrexham 2. More by luck, because Mansfield scored 2 goals and Wrexham scored 1, and Mansfield lost 2-1. So, own goal, 2nd minute by McDonald. Mansfield are really, really struggling scoring goals, and they're obviously Lee Gregory's out for the season, and that's really going to be something that's going to haunt them now, because they keep changing round the front end and hoping that they're going to get somewhere from it, and they don't seem to be doing it. So we did get a correct result. Mansfield 1, Wrexham 2, and we'll just go through the stats for you and finish there. It's 47% to Mansfield, 54 to Wrexham, 11 shots to Mansfield. More shots than Wrexham, 4 of them on target and 1 in the net. That's about the right sort of ratio. Wrexham, 9 shots. They'll be a bit disappointed with that, I think. 2 on target, most likely disappointed with that one. But 2 on target, 2 in the net. I mean, obviously only one of them was in the net of those 2, and Mansfield hit it in their own net for the other one. So Mansfield will be feeling a little bit disappointed there. And please do remember, like and subscribe, and we'll get you another video soon. It's John S.'s Sports Channel. Over and out. Like and subscribe.